All right, we're back here with Project Tina. Today we're going to cut the whole front suspension off. First, we're going to take and removing all the stuff that we can unbolt. And remember, when you're doing projects like this, you don't have to take every single nut and bolt out. Take things apart in big chunks that you're not going to use. Like, we're not going to use any of the suspension. So basically what we're going to do is we're just going to undo the upper control arm, lower control arm, take the whole thing off as a complete unit. Yeah, it's a little heavier to move around, but it saves you time. There's no need to sit here and pop all the ball joints, and pop all this stuff and take it out nice and neat and lay it all on the ground when it's all going to go in the garbage anyway. Only if it's going to go in the garbage. If it's not going to go in the garbage, take care of it. So like I said, we're going to take all the suspension off. Then we're going to start cutting stuff off. We're going to get rid of the cross member here and disconnect the torsion bars and remove all of the brake lines. We got brake lines, fuel lines, all the stuff. It all has to go. And if you watched our last episode where my sister was talking about let grow low ground clearance, you can see right here, she has smashed all the brackets that were hanging down low. So she wasn't lying. So let's get to work. All right, so we just got done getting the front end torn apart on it. Got everything out of it. Like I said, I like to take things out in big chunks, upper and lower. The whole knuckle assembly comes out as one piece. I had to cut this one off because the bolt is rusted into the bushing and I'm not gonna fight it. I'm just gonna cut it off. So next is to get all the bracketry off of the frame. There's multiple ways you can do this. Some people use a plasma cutter, some people use a cutoff wheel. I'm personally going to use a cutoff wheel and mixture of a cutoff wheel and an air hammer. So what I'll do is I'll take a weld like this and I'll cut it, not all the way through because I don't want to cut the frame and weaken it. Cut it just narrowly, like almost all the way through, but like 90%, and then hit it with an air hammer and it'll fracture it and break the weld off. Then you can take it off, and then it'll leave a little piece that we have to grind down to make it smooth again and flush. But at least then we have a nice frame that hasn't been altered or weakened by us cutting it out. A lot of times, if you try to do this with a plasma cutter, people they're like, "Oh, I'm just going to cut down here." What happens is it cuts and then cuts into the frame behind it, and then all of a sudden now you have to weld it all up and do a lot more work. And anytime you can save yourself extra work, it's just nice. It saves you the headache. These are all like very thin welds. They're not like a big American setup where they're big giant molded or big giant welds over everything. So we'll just start on that. All right, so we just got done cutting all the brackets off. We still have the welds to come back and grind down and get rid of. But as you see, we haven't really damaged the frame at all. We cut on the welds, hammer everything off with an impact hammer so it can break the welds. These are probably just going to leave in place. We still haven't got the cross members out of the back yet, but we'll do that next. Got a couple brake lines. I didn't want Zach getting in the way when I was doing this. But see, with all this stuff, we can go through and now grind back down nice and flat and have us a really nice smooth frame to start working on. We'll do that next. Talk to you later. All right, so a little update here on Project Tina. It's going to be a little more involved than we thought. I knew this would probably happen, but what we're going to end up doing is cutting the whole front frame off this thing. We're going to front front clip it. So this is where our frame needs to be, is down here. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna end up cutting it here and cutting it back here. We're gonna rebuild the whole frame on the front end. And yeah, so next step is to yank the body off of it, and then we can mock up the whole frame assembly because the frame is too narrow and too low. So we're gonna bring it up into the thing, we'll take the body off, build our whole frame assembly, and then put the body back on and start cutting fenders out.